I think we can very clearly say that Netanyahu will be the next prime minister and will have his fifth term come in. This, as Saib al-Kat said, the vote we have seen is a vote for the status quo, not only on the Palestinian issue, but generally. This has been a vote wherein Israelis have en masse said that they want to keep things just as they are. If you look at Jewish Israelis, then it's a very, very clear, wide vote to keep things as they are on all different political, social, economical fronts in Israel.
And yet, the number of seats that the Likud won is still relatively small. How do you account for the fractious nature of Israeli politics, with so many different parties always requiring a coalition to govern?
So first of all, Netanyahu actually got more votes this time and more seats in Knesset than he did the last time, which I think is very considerable, especially considering that he's facing several very serious criminal charges for political corruption. To be able to get actually more seats into Knesset than he did with these criminal charges is quite an accomplishment. At the same time, we need to understand that the other parties that will be joining his coalition government have all stated in advance that they will join him. So a vote, for example, for the religious parties in Israel, for the extreme right settler parties and others, was actually, for voters, a vote to support Netanyahu via his allies.
Do you see this as a referendum on Netanyahu's 10-year rule, and also the significance of these last two moves he made in the last week? One with Trump in the United States right before Netanyahu flew back to Israel, Trump announcing the acceptance of recognizing the sovereignty of Israel over the occupied Golan Heights, and then the last announcement the day before the election that Israel would annex the West Bank settlement. What that means.
Definitely. So we can also add to that the moving of the American embassy to Jerusalem last year. It seems like a long time ago, but I think it's all very relevant, because what all these measures are doing and saying is that there's an old kind of balance that we used to talk about in Israeli politics, where in Israel, the two things that Israel can get from moving towards peace, moving toward ending the occupation, are one, safety and security, and two, international recognition and legitimacy for all sorts of things that Israel wants. Basically, what Trump has been doing to support Netanyahu is offering sorts of legitimacy to Israel without any conditions. So moving the embassy to Jerusalem without conditioning a partition of the city, recognizing the annexation of the Golan Heights, basically giving up on any sort of negotiations, in this case with the Syrians, basically giving Netanyahu a green light to annex part of the West Bank as well, because you don't need Palestinians to agree to this, because there you go, you have international legitimacy even without any negotiations. So with that, and at the same time with Netanyahu succeeding to offer Israelis safety and security, a very, very low mortality rate as part of the conflict, as part of the occupation and siege, unlike Palestinians that are being killed en masse by Israel. Israelis are not really being killed as much. So for Israelis, this is actually a rational choice to support a status quo where there's international recognition, there's safety and security, and an economy that's generally blooming. Why not continue with Netanyahu?